All right, so we're here with my pre-workout meal for workout number 2 for the day. This one only has 60 grams of carbs in it, and I change up my food sources sometimes if I want. So in this meal, I got some grass-fed beef, 98% lean. I like that better than like turkey. Like for me, it just digests a lot better. And also, digestion's a big part of this process. Only 2 grams of fat per serving, so it's like 4 grams of fat, so insignificant. Skinny beef is what I use. And then I got jasmine rice mixed in, some grilled asparagus, and then a side of some rice cakes. So 60 grams of carbs here, about 50 grams of protein, and then just trace fats. And then, I'll also take a ton of supplements. So my supplement, like this meal, I'm going to take some bent folk thymine, and my ubiquinol. This is one with PQQ, which is a better absorption rate. And this is my second serving of both of these. And then also my second serving today of a B complex from Thorne, Stress B complex. Other than that, that's pretty much it for my pre-workout meal. So I'll down this real quick, and then in about 45 minutes or so, I'm going to hit I'll put together my intra shake and my pre-workout stuff, and then we'll hit the gym. All right, guys, so I'm getting ready to put together my intra shake, also my pre-workout. So for my intra shake, I get asked all the time, what do I use? I honestly change it a lot. There's a lot of companies that I really like. Recovery Factor X, obviously Granite by John Meadows and Ed Koo, love it. Perry MD, which I think is actually it. Yeah. Perry MD by True Nutrition. And then, but what I'm using today, Raging Fuel by Project AD Elite. Joe Bentley. I've known Joe for a long time now. I don't know how many years. Pretty much when he's getting started with the company. They have phenomenal products as always. So I'm using this for my carb source. So I'll do 60 grams of carbs intra. And then I'll put my EAAs in it, and I'll be using Matt Porter's Farm Grade, which I absolutely love. Because it uses fermented aminos, and the biggest thing with that for me is digestibility. I get zero bloat when it comes to it, which is big for me. There's some essential aminos that I'll take instead of gotten bloated like crazy, and obviously that's not comfortable during training. And I'll do 2 scoops of this mixed with my AD Elite, and then I'll also pre-workout. This is intra, but I've also been using Matt's new Celluval. Love this stuff because I am trying to keep stimulants besides my coffee in the morning. I want stimulants kept out of my pre-workout right now. There's absolutely no need for it. At 13 weeks out, I will start using them when I get much deeper into prep, when I really need it. But right now, I really want to keep it stimulant free. And this is just a great product all around, besides it being stimulant free. You're looking at 7 grams of citrulline in it. It's very highly dosed. Hydromax, which Joe has Hydromax here as well, and citrulline. So I'm getting a good dose of this because I'm actually looking to get 10 milligrams of citrulline malate with my shakes right in both 2-day sessions. So I'll do this about 10-15 minutes before my training. Then I'll also do I actually started loading the L-carnitine this week. So once it's done loading, then I'll just go to a maintenance dose around 300 milligrams or so a workout. So I'll take this before my workouts, and I'll also take it with RALA, obviously for more uptake. Because for this to be beneficial, it needs to be with carbs. And like the pill version, the absorption rate and availability is just crap in my opinion. It still has some benefits, but it's nothing like this. And this and disclosure that it is injectable, but it's just L-carnitine. It's nothing illegal, obviously. So I really like this. So we're loading it in right now. I've taken it on both my training sessions, both times. Taking this with ALA and my carbs in the intra, get that shouldered in, loaded up. And I think that's about it for my intra-workout stuff. And then we're going to get to the gym and then get a pretty voluminous and dense shoulder training in, some different stuff you may or may not have seen before. Get that in, and then that'll be it for the video this week.
All right, guys, so starting here with a thoracic extension warm-up, just over and back, just getting around, moving, helping up warm up my thoracic region. You'll see me extend over the foam roller just to get things moving, and then some over and backs with a dowel rod just to get my scapula up and loosened up to help with my range of motion and everything with my activation and just obviously just joint integrity and health, because I have been having scapula issues. We had recorded audio, but for some reason it didn't work, so I'm going to do a voiceover. So we're starting here with overhead presses, and here it's just working up to a hard set of 10, and I'm sticking with that same weight for all 5 sets. So obviously we're going to be showing only like one working set for most things, so it didn't bore you to death. But a big thing here with the overhead presses is, keeping joint integrity. So my hand and my wrist are typically always above my elbow the whole time. That's also so you don't impinge your bicep tendon, obviously, which crosses the shoulder joint into the coracoid process. So you want to make sure you're keeping that nice straight up and down plane from your hand to your elbow, and you're not letting it cave in like a lot of people, just obviously so there's no impingements going on, and it's just more even distribution of load as well. So again, we worked up to a hard set here of 10, and then every set of that I was just taking to failure, whatever number that was. I think I ended up on the last set only getting like 8 total reps or so. And then again, this will be a pretty voluminous workout. Densities come into play, which you'll see with lots of giant sets after we get going here with the overhead press, and then into laterals, and then from there it's just all giant sets and all density work. So a lot of work in a smaller amount of time. So just make sure too, if you're going to try this workout, load is important, but form is obviously just as important, if not more so. That way you're protecting your joints and protecting everything that you're doing. So we're going to get ready to hit a set here, and then we'll move on to the next exercise. So you can see the alignment. My hand is directly above my elbows, pressing nice and smooth, constant tension, creating as much activation in the delts as possible. All right, so here we're moving on to an ascending, descending set on side raises. So basically we're starting with a light load, doing a strict set of 15, increase the weight, drop the reps down to 10 to 12, increase the weight again, drop the reps down to around 6 to 8. Then I'll rest around 10 seconds or so, and then move back down the opposite direction. So dropping back down to 30, go to failure, drop back down to 20, and then go to failure as well. And we ended up doing 4 sets here total. So lots and lots of volume here on lateral delts. And the key here is you'll see me really strict, and you'll see me moving a little bit, just a little bit in the hip, and that's just a natural motion for me. Big thing here with laterals, think about reaching away from your body, leading with the elbows. Your hands are just there as hooks, it's just holding the weight, and initiate through the lateral head. I have a lot of people, their traps tend to take over when they do lateral movements. So think about locking your scapula down, not allowing it to move at all, and it's all just in that shoulder joint, all medial delt, and just nice, smooth, controlled motion. And obviously, the heavier it gets, a little bit of a swing's fine. as long as you're still controlling it. I mean, you're not going to move crazy heavy weights and be, absolutely perfect with form, but we want to be as perfect as possible and getting the most activation we can out of the lateral heads. So I'm here on my top set with the 40 pounds. Then I rest a little bit. Then I'm going to drop right back down to the 30s. And these are just repped out to failure. Again, keeping those shoulders down, scapula locked into place. So we're going to hit failure here and then drop right back down to the 20s. And you can see pretty much here these 20s kind of feeling like 50s at this point. So we're looking like basically like 6 different weights up and down. So from here, we're moving on to the density work. So here we're going to start with a short snatch, obviously the Olympic lift. You're focused on explosiveness here, getting that full overhead position. Make sure you're externally rotating at the humerus, getting the delts locked in, obviously a little bit of upper back. Just to recruit some more HDMUs with the explosive work and get as much activation as possible in those before we go on and move on to the rear lateral swings. And on the swings, you'll see that I start out with a really heavy weight, around 50 for 10 reps. Then I drop back down and do a lighter weight for 20 reps. And then also before that, you'll actually see I'll actually go from here, the snatch, into just regular rear laterals. So explosive, lock it out at the top, full tension in the delt and upper back. Well, as you can see, it's a short snatch, so I'm not even going down to a full hang position here. So we did 10 reps here. So you rack that, grab the 35s and just some moderately loose rear laterals, kind of a little bit upper back and rear delts here. So I'm actually letting my scapula retract and protract a little bit. And then again, from here, we're going to the partial swings. So just letting the shoulder stay completely protracted the whole time. And it's a controlled swing, all rear delt. If you do this properly, it's going to start burning like crazy. Keep those arms completely locked out. And just a nice, smooth swing out to the side. So I drop those, go straight into the 30s, and do these for 20. And again, lock the elbow, keep the shoulders completely protracted. Do not let them retract at all. And we're going to really isolate the rear delt here. And these really burn towards the end, especially from all the work that I've already just done previously. So we're repping out 20 reps here. And don't worry about it if your range of motion starts shortening. That's going to be normal, especially if you choose the right weight. I mean, you should be able to get full range. You should go into partials. And then from there, I went into band pull-aparts, and these were just the failure, just whatever I could get. I think I got somewhere around 15 to 20 reps max, and it was pretty much done at that point. And then we did 3 rounds of this. And then from here, we're going to move on to the last giant set. And this is going to focus pretty much mainly on the lateral head of the delt. Just a little picture here of me helping my wife. So what we're going to do here is we're going to start with a accentuated eccentric for the lateral raise. So you see me start in an L lateral position. So I'll raise it out to the side in an L shape, straighten my arms, and then lower it under control around 3 seconds, maybe 4. So obviously you can use a little bit heavier load when you do an L lateral. And then as you straighten the lever arm out with your arms, it increases the load, and then you're lowering it down. And then from there, just into L laterals, and then from L laterals, I'm going straight. So these are, at this point, I'm pretty much toasted. My delts are pretty much dead. But with these, I mean, it doesn't take a whole lot of load if you're watching your form and doing it correctly. And you can see me just kind of going on talking because we actually thought the audio was working, and I don't know what the heck happened to it. But it is what it is. I wasn't filming this workout over again. Remember, this is my second 2-a-day of the day. So we're going into the accentuated L laterals. So out to the side, control it down. So you want to try to make this kind of a really smooth motion. And again, try to keep your traps out of it as much as possible. I'm keeping my scapula locked down, and I'm letting my lateral head do the lift. Because a lot of people will typically struggle a little bit when they do a lateral raise, and their traps just overcompensate and become dominant in this movement, obviously, which is not what we want to accomplish. So L, reach it out to the side, control it down. And then we're shooting for 12 to 15 reps here. And then pretty much on everything else, it's just the failure. There's no rep scheme to follow. You just go until you can't go no more. So from there, you're seeing straight into L laterals. And I just go to pretty much complete partial failure here. And again, keeping that scapula locked down, out to the side, get a good contraction in the lateral head. And Steve failed pretty quickly there. And then rested about 10 seconds. And then going straight into overhead flies. So you see I get some external rotation as I go down to protect my shoulders, but also get a lot more activation in the rear delt a little bit and the medial head. There's a lot of tension here. Keeping that scapula locked. And just going to failure here. I think that's like 10 pounds that I'm using, and it feels like 100. And then from here, I'm going to go straight into overhead presses. And every set here is probably about 4 reps and almost done. You can just see me just fall out. And that's it for the workout, guys.